guys, welcome to Word First Radio, the podcast brought to you by Word First Ministries. I am your host, Jacob O'Neill, and as always, I'm joined by my good friends, Cameron and Bailey.
Hey.
Bailey, go ahead and pray us in.
Yep. Lord, today we just come to you, and we come specifically to remember and look over the past few months and what you've done in the mundane moments of life and the things that seem ordinary to us. I pray that you would help us to see and thank you for the miraculous work that you're doing in the midst of it. So, God, just be with us. I pray you'd encourage us today. Help us to encourage each other as we look back on your work in our lives. Lord, we love you. We dedicate this time to you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So I know we're only a couple months in, but we're going back to basics. We spent a couple weeks talking about evangelism and church planting and, I don't know, philosophizing, theologizing and stuff. So, but we've been hearing from some of our friends back home. They want to know how we're doing and how life is here in Norway.
Yeah.
I guess first things first, Omicron has finally reached us, apparently.
Is that the first thing? Yeah.
Yeah, that started here, actually. In
We invented
Oslo.
it. Yeah, it started in Norway.
Yeah.
It didn't start here. It started in South Africa. But actually, I think Oslo had like the biggest outbreak. There's some South African company that had like a Christmas party, and everyone was vaccinated, but Omicron went crazy there, and so we got a whole bunch of that going on.
Yeah.
I told my mom that we started it, so I need to take that back.
We started the fire.
We totally did. Yeah, and so we're back to, we're in quarantine. Back to quarantine, like don't go outside, wear masks everywhere and stuff.
Yeah.
Online school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what's been fun is kind of over the holidays, we've had a string of big life events and holidays, and we kind of didn't really care about social distancing. But
well, that wasn't. Yeah, I'm trying to remember when all of the new rules sort of took effect. But we had more or less, call it regular. I mean, regular for us. So in the one sense, we were together, and medical requirements or whatever didn't keep us from doing what we wanted to do for Christmas. But we had our whole sort of holiday season. So everything that happens after Halloween and then until like past the New Year's, kind of for our first time in all of our lives, we did that without our families in California. So, and we've made it. We're alive. We weathered it. I think we were blessed by it. God was good to us. But we got to have that sort of first experience.
yeah, well, let's talk about that experience. We had Christmas here. For the first time for some of us, away from all of our family and with like $5 presents and what was
And actually stick to the rules for Secret Santa.
That's right. Yes.
No one buying iPods.
That's right.
No one.
That's an exclusive joke.
That's right.
For anyone.
Nobody knows.
Write that down. Let's talk about that. What was Christmas like here?
It was awesome. For us, so we spent Christmas Eve all together, and that was wonderful. So, like, kind of one of the miraculous things I think God has done over the past few months is turn us from people that the girls know, Cam's girls, know, into, like, aunties and uncles. I think it's, like, happening, and it is starting to feel real. And Christmas was one of the really cool moments for that, because we all pooled our money together, the youngsters who live in basically the same dorm, pulled our money to get the girls some gifts and to turn Celia into a princess, which she hasn't stopped being a princess.
She still wears that. Yeah, she wears it all the time.
Yeah,
she does a costume change, like basically whenever
when you guys
come over.
when you guys come over, she runs into her room and puts on her little princess outfit.
It's like a purple. I know what color that is. A purple like dress with like diamonds and stuff on it, and And what else did we get? Yeah,
so we got Celia's a princess now. We got all the girls a matching like cat sweater so that they can have a cute picture together. And we found a comb with Taya's name on it.
Isn't that great? So when you go into any gift shop in the United States, you can get like license plates, little personalized license plates or whatever the tchotchkes are. Yeah. And there's here they have names like Taya on their on their.
I've gotten a few Jacobs in my time. Jacob pens, Jacob mugs.
It was until people started naming their daughters Cameron. Cameron wasn't on anything, but me and my brothers we're Cameron, Graham, and Wilhelm. We did not have a lot of these. Like, mine was the most likely to be on one of those things. So it's crazy that we're in a place where like Taya is on.
Is a normal.
It's yeah.
But I think that's the only. Well, no, Celia, but spelled a different way.
Yeah.
Spelled the right way.
Spelled the right way. Yeah.
Would be probably on a comb or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we turned Cheery into like she puts the legend in Legend of Zelda.
That's right.
So,
She is a total gamer girl
Oh, she'll
now.
ask her. She'll tell you.
yeah, she's a gamer girl.
Yeah, she's like, I'm pretty much a gamer, so.
And I love it. As soon as
Yeah.
I get Zelda, I'll finally be
Yeah.
able to relate to her with that.
Yeah, and apparently she's like actually pretty good at it. She tells me like,
no, seriously.
yeah.
She's like done stuff where I thought that there was no chance. Like maybe 5 years from now, she'd pick up the game and actually be able to do it. But she's like
Really?
beat levels.
That's
without,
what you spent our pooled money on.
Yeah.
Was a game that she might play.
I just
You know
knew
how
it would be
perfect-
very exciting.
How perfect that is for a parent. If I can just send you to your room and you go do an undoable task, just go do that till you're finished.
Yeah.
But that was so from our perspective, that was all wonderful. I mean, so buying gifts for the girls obviously is an excellent thing to do, and it's one of the things that like binds people together and all of that. But it was just really sweet to see your guys' hearts with my kids, because you understood the things that they love and the things that they like, and they just, I mean, everything Celia opened was, oh, this is exactly what I always wanted. And it was very, very sweet. We got to exchange gifts among one another, which I think went really well. Went really well also. And even though I would say it wasn't an abundant Christmas, that's not fair to say. So we've got like our families were really generous with us, and so I don't mean to say like it was a meager gift exchange or something, but among us, it was a pretty modest Christmas, but it was just exactly what it needed to be. I think all of the gift giving was thoughtful and touching, and yeah, so and the fact that you guys are just willing to bless my girls. I mean, you didn't even mention the time you wanted to give Whitney and I an opportunity to get out of the house. So you guys brought over all the stuff to make and decorate cookies with the girls.
Oh yeah.
I don't think one of them was
houses and
eaten
everything.
or even edible. Like I don't think any of it.
No, those I think failed miserably.
Yeah.
Was the word you were looking for.
And then for us, so I mean that's a wonderful, generous thing to do, to give us some time to get out of the house and enjoy each other's company. And we didn't even really do that. We kind of, I mean, it was nice that we were together, but we didn't have any plans. We just kind of walked around, so that you guys could spend time with the kids and the kids could spend time with you. And they just love you guys. I mean, it was one of these recent weeks when we usually film the podcast, we didn't. And Cheery came home from school and she was so sad. Yeah. And I asked her, "What's going on, baby?" And she's like welling up. And she's like, I thought the team was going to be here. I said, "I'm sorry, baby, they're not." She goes, "But they're always here when I get home." I was like, "Nah, not today, baby. They're not here." And so I said, "Is there something you needed?" Or she's like, "No, I just really miss them. I really wanted to see them." And I said, "We can FaceTime them if you want. We'll FaceTime the whole group, see who answers." And she goes, "No, I don't want them to see me like this."
I'm gonna cry.
And she goes, "And Bailey wouldn't want me to be sad."
Yeah.
So they love you. I mean, they ask all the time when you guys are coming over. Is the team coming over today? No, baby, not today. Oh, man.
Well, I love, since we're just talking about the girls, I remember when it was a couple months ago or whatever, or the last time we did this, where me and Marissa had to come over, got to come over and babysit them.
Yeah.
And you texted us like the day before or something. You were like, "Hey, we need someone to babysit the girls." Me and Motown did it.
Yeah.
And I showed up and you were like, "They've been asking for 4 hours. Are they here yet? Are they coming yet? Are they coming yet? Are they coming? When are they coming? Are they
We
coming?"
can't tell them. Like, if we're going somewhere and one of you guys, like, any one of you is coming to watch them, we just can't tell them, like, until you get here. "Oh, why are Bailey and Grace here?" Because we're leaving. See, like, "Oh, yeah." Because if we tell them the day before, it's like, yes, they're tomorrow. Still tomorrow. It's like 23 hours, 21 hours. Yeah. They'll be here in 6 hours. They'll be here in 5 hours and 8 minutes. Could you please? So that's actually really, really wonderful. I mean, that's so. I mean, if I like zoom out a little bit,
please.
So one of the things that is really difficult for a lot of people who are on missions work is they leave their whole family and they show up at a place where they really have no team. They have. That's not fair to say. It's not that they have no team, but they have no community. Sure. So maybe they have a team and some leadership or some other people who are part of the mission with them. But we got to bring sort of we got to bring a team with us, which is awesome. A team we've all been working together in ministry for several years, anyways. But we brought like our second family with us, and what a blessing that is. So I and my girls didn't feel like we were having Christmas alone. We miss the people we miss. So our grandparents and aunties and uncles and and the cousins and all of that. We really miss them, and that was hard. But we got to spend it with you guys, which is our sort of adopted family, the family that we got to choose. And I just think we can't ever like overlook what a blessing that is, because we can irritate each other like a lot, and we can be mad and depressed or have a sort of imbalance or friction in our relationships. Like, so you can. So what comes with having a team is conflict. There's that, but we can't ever lose sight of the blessing that it is to have sort of all of our best friends and favorite people here doing the work together. What God knew we needed each other. So,
yeah, and I think that's been kind of like talking about him doing miraculous stuff in the midst of like the moment to moment, like the stuff that just feels normal.
Yeah.
I think over the past 2 months, he's done a ton of that work, like in our team. So even for me, like I told you when we first came here, or when you first got here, that I felt like a little awkward, or, like I didn't feel comfortable being uncle to the girls.
Yeah.
And I had to work out some kinks. Like I would feel like I was stepping on your toes, or just like stuff like that. Like I didn't know how to interact.
Bailey, stop trying to nurse the baby.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like, whoa, what are you doing? He's like, I'm sorry. I don't know what they're just trying to be an uncle. I'm like,
Yeah. But Grace has nannied for a long time. So she knows everything.
Yeah.
And like she knows how to talk to kids. She knows how much authority to exercise with kids. Like she'll tell them no. And I can't imagine doing that. Like you always joke about that with the girls.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like I absolutely can't, because it's how cute they are.
Yeah.
Plus, like you and Whitney are the people who should be telling them no. But it's been like really cool getting to a point where I'm actually comfortable to interact with the girls, and like we have our own friendship. Like that. There was one day you texted or called me or whatever, and you were like, "Hey, I'm on the bus taking Cherry home, and she just wants to call you." And I was like,
it was a weird day for me too.
Yeah.
So for how happened where I was sitting was, Papa, can I call Bailey? I'm like, yeah, I mean, yes, of course you can, but yeah. And
why exactly?
Why?
Yeah.
Like, and so I teased her. I must have asked her if do you want to marry Bailey? She's like, gross. I don't want to get married. Like, what do you want to call him? She goes, I just want to talk to him. I was like, okay. So I was curious about what the conversation was going to be like. Why did you? Why did you describe that?
Well, I thought,
I
thought she was going to call for advice in
That's what I
her
thought
game,
too. Yeah.
because I had lent her, lended, I don't know.
Yeah.
Loaned
Had
her Zelda, and I thought she was going to ask for advice in there.
Yeah, I thought she was going to ask for video game advice too.
Yeah, that was like a tiny part of our conversation. But I was like, "Hey, what are you calling for?" And she's like, "I just wanted to talk to you." So I don't know. I'm gonna cry just like thinking about it. But I love your girls. I like love the opportunity that we have to actually be family. Like in their eyes, is the craziest phenomenon ever. And I think just it's helped to bring the whole team. Like we talked about Thanksgiving and how that was like, we didn't have our family that we're all used to being with, and we're learning to be family with each other. And I think Christmas felt a lot more close to that being a normal thing and not like a,
And I look forward also to us like creating our own traditions. So here in Norway, the big celebratory day is Christmas Eve, which is true in my family too, because we're a Scandinavian family. But that's not true for most of you guys. It's not true for Whitney. So we have an opportunity to not only embrace the traditions here, because they do things a certain way, and that's fun. And like Norway does Christmas awesome. So we get to embrace those, but we also get to sort of carve out our own things. You know what I mean? We get to, it's really an opportunity for us to do that. Even so, Whitney and I, we moved out a long time ago. We bought a house. We've had our own family, but we've only had a certain number of, traditions. We're still a part of like our parents' traditions, but we are sort of set free. Set free doesn't sound right, but like we get to make our own way through the year-end holidays, Christmas Eve and Christmas and all of that. So I just really love that, and I appreciate that we get to do that together.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we can come up with some really cool holidays.
I don't know. No. Did you think what I said was we get to invent holidays?
Basically. No.
We're the pioneers of our own holidays.
No, I know that's not what you said. Yeah. But I mean, that was really cool. Yeah. So there's so much I could say about all
Yeah.
of that, those different experiences, hanging out with the girls, hanging out together as a family. It was great when, making an Italian style dinner with
Yeah.
lasagna and penne that didn't taste like paprika because we had fresh ingredients, thank God. And that was wonderful. That was a huge blessing for me.
I put paprika in there, by the way, for you.
You did?
No.
No. Thank you. Why would she say that? Okay.
Well, the reason I said that is because I think you're wrong when you say that there's paprika and everything.
I'm definitely
And
not.
so I was challenging that whole narrative in your mind. I was inceptioning you. So that you wouldn't
you
know,
watch Inception?
So that you wouldn't even know what was real anymore.
This is getting too deep for the catching up with the gang episode, but okay. Well, very cool. So besides Christmas, we've actually had a couple different, I guess we could say, like life events. There's a couple, we've had some family from back in California visit us.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Had a couple anniversaries.
Mama G.
We had
Mama G.
some, a couple anniversaries.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about some of those experiences and how, being here, experiencing them, right? Like that, has been different from back in California because, I mean, it's kind of weird to, so Mama G visited, right? And
We can call her Mama Grace.
Mama
That's
Grace.
Grace's mom. I don't know.
yeah, Mama Grace.
Mama G's a little too cool.
Too cool.
All right. I'm sorry, Cynthia, if you're watching this. So Mama Grace visited, and it wasn't like you went to Norway with her and you guys went back to the States together. She was visiting her daughter and son-in-law who lives in Norway.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. I haven't experienced that yet.
Yeah.
But why don't you talk about what that was like?
Yeah, it was bizarre because we're showing her home. So that was weird. Because before showing her home was showing her what the city that she already knows very well
Yeah.
looks like because it's like 200 feet away or whatever. It was weird because for her it was I think it was her first time out of the country period. So for her she was a tourist and like seeing this brand new place, and we knew about it and got to catch her up on all the like things and how she needs to wear a bunch of layers. Like she had to borrow some clothes from Grace.
Oh, that poor lady when she got here.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
She's
the
been to the
first-
snow before, right?
Yeah,
Like, but
she
okay.
wasn't. Well, she was mostly prepared. Like Costco will have you covered pretty well. 'cause
Yeah.
she,
It'll at least get you from the airport to your apartment. Yeah.
she was she had just one big coat and then her Costco shoes.
Yeah.
That were all a great price, and those covered her for the whole trip. But she had to borrow some layers from
Yeah.
Grace, and that was the part where she was totally not ready for
No,
it.
yeah.
Like she got off the plane with no socks on
Oh.
and got out into the cold, and I think it was the coldest day that we've had.
And
in Oslo.
we had kind of a cold wave, what do you call it? Whatever, a period of coldness. Of
The ground is covered in ice.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Well,
Yeah.
it snowed, which was wonderful, which apparently is
Which was beautiful,
Yeah,
and
it was a-
magical, and yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. But apparently that's unusual for Oslo. Usually, apparently, I guess we'll know ourselves, but what people keep telling me is that you usually don't get that much snow this early. And then we had kind of a week of it just being cold. And she came in the midst of that.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful. But the snow fell like a few days before Christmas and stuck. And it was just freezing cold.
Yeah, so she was in shock getting off the plane and being freezing for like the 2 seconds she was outside and switching from train to bus.
Yeah.
And then we had kebab that night, like all together.
Yeah.
And we were, I think, like 30 minutes late
Yep.
to kebab because she wanted to layer up as much as possible to not
For the
risk it
4-minute
all.
walk.
Yeah. So yeah, she wasn't cold the rest of the trip, but
Yeah, good.
yeah, it was awesome. She spoiled us. She took us to Bergen, so we got to visit a place that we know, not nearly as well as Oslo, obviously, but we know our way around, and there's a lot of fun stories there. We showed her.
How's the weather in Bergen? Is it snowing there or it's raining?
No, it was. We didn't get any snow days, which is sad because snow days in Bergen are beautiful.
Yeah.
We didn't get any sun days. It was just Bergen, gray skies,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
and on and off rain the whole time. But it was really cool to show her, like, because for years now we've been talking about. We went to this crazy place on the other side of the world, and we walked to colleges and bugged students. So we one time took a walk like along the mountain, and got to show her the whole city and like map out where we navigated to take groups from the Lagsusa over to different colleges. And one cool thing that came up is there are a lot of old churches in Bergen, and in Oslo too, but especially Bergen. They're kind of like a feature that you see dotted throughout the city. And she would like, gaze at all of them and wonder and be like, "Oh, that's so awesome! Like, look at this beautiful church," because we have normal buildings in America most of the time for our churches.
Yeah.
If you look at the end card of this video and some of our previous videos, behind the links to other video episodes of the podcast and our little logo, that's a church that one of us took footage of, and it's actually just like a regular church here.
Yeah.
They're just stunning. They're just absolutely beautiful. I don't know how much you can see of it on YouTube, but that's just a regular church here.
That's the So that's the inside of the church that we have all that flyover stuff in the intro video. So Alan took all of the drone footage, and then Jacob was inside taking that was what the inside of that same. But it looks like stock footage.
It does.
It looks like
but
something we should have paid for, and it's Jacob with a dumb camera.
Did you hear that? I'm professional. Okay, thank you.
But it was an interesting conversation because we got to tell her about the past mission trips we had in Bergen. And then also, like, she asked us, like, there are so many churches here.
Yeah.
Like, what's the problem? And so we got to launch in that conversation and talk about, like, more of the hard facts, Cam, but so maybe you can elaborate. But those were state churches. Now they're not state churches technically, but they're not churches that teach the gospel and
by and large.
Yeah. Well, that whole concept of state churches is just completely foreign to where we come from. Like, we don't have so there's state churches and free churches here, and free churches are not they're just not government churches. They're private churches, and that concept is completely foreign from.
Yeah, and the state church. So, like, the England still has a state church. I think that's how they classify it. So the Church of England.
Yeah, Church of England.
The Queen is like the head of that church.
That's right.
So Norway had a state church until about 10 years ago, but it's now still a government church. So, gosh, I hope I'm getting all this right. If I'm not, Norwegians, please help me to add some nuance. But as far as I know, all of the employees or whatever, all of the clergy for the Church of Norway are all government employees, and Norwegian taxes pay for the Church of Norway. So Church of Norway is like a department of the government, but it's not the official religion of the nation anymore.
Yeah. But I think it's just like, for her, that was a really interesting conversation to see like how prominent the churches are in these two cities, because she got to see, the two big cities in Norway. And saw how churches are everywhere, and they're beautiful, and they're proud of their churches, and they're constantly repairing them to keep them looking great.
Doors are open all day.
Yeah,
they're public property because they're state churches, so you can go in and film. I asked for permission, but I didn't have to because they're all public property. You can just go in.
So just that was a cool and kind of like eye-opening experience for us, just to have like fresh eyes on that, because she kind of came with the same wonder that we did in our first mission trip, where we're like, there's churches everywhere. Like, why are we here? And then that's where, we have to have a more lengthy conversation and like study the culture, which is like what Laga and all these different organizations we're working with are doing.
Well, that's one of the reasons I'm really eager for our church family, and especially like the rest. So this mission team is really broad. So it includes the few of us who are here in Oslo, but then there's like this whole support network of people paying for us to be here and praying for us to be here and giving us spiritual support, and then there's the word first like corporate apparatus that exists just so that as a nonprofit organization, like just to so there's this whole like foundation of stuff, so that the 10 of us, so I guess not even me and my family, but just the 5 of you are sort of walking on top of. And so I'm really eager for all of those people to have that experience like Mama Grace had, where they can come and see, like, these are literally the cobblestone streets we walked to evangelize in Bergen. And these are like, you can see the video of that's Sagene Kyrka. You can see Sagene Church in the intro and outro of our podcast videos, but it lands somehow, and you're like, oh my God, and they're everywhere. I mean, we got within walking distance, half a dozen churches just like that. And we've got Oslo Cathedral. We have these wonderful, beautiful buildings that were built and dedicated to God Almighty. But there's a sense in which the Spirit is gone. I mean, they're not representatives of the gospel of salvation anymore. And when you can see that, when you can see a big, beautiful, empty building, where you go, wow, it's hollow. And again, I don't. The point is not to be critical of the Church of Norway, although we are, I guess.
Yes.
But the point is like we tell people that we're going to come and preach the gospel in Norway. Like, they heard about Jesus way before America was a thing. Like, I'm sure they got the memo, you know, and they know. But when you can see it and go, oh my goodness, okay, so here's what's going on. You get a sense about it, right? Even the advice I got when we came on vacation was get your feet dirty and see what the Spirit says to you. And so to be able to sort of pound out the same pavement that we did on that mission trip, that's awesome. And to be able to see the vestiges of a once thriving Christian commitment in the nation is something that I hope. So that, I mean, that's an invitation to everybody. Like, you've heard me say it. You're listening to this. You've heard me invite you here. I absolutely mean it. Figure out a way to get here. We'll figure out a way to put you up or whatever. Like, get here and be part and see what it's like, because it becomes touchable. It becomes tactile. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
tangible is the good word for it. I would prefer. I'm trying to find an even better, worse word.
Yeah, that's the short. I can look up another word. Well, I mean, if
you can tange it.
I think you found it.
There it is.
There you go. That's it. Well, yeah. I mean, there's not really much I can improve on that, but rather support that kind of idea where if you look at all of the footage that I collected, I didn't just take that one shot, but I just took a bunch of shots. If you look at that shot, it has all my shots. It has everything that a church should have except for one thing: people. There's I think me and the front lady, to make sure that like burglars don't come in, we're like the only people in the building. Which is sad. I mean, so that building, you can see it in our opening shot, has been under construction. They actually kind of just finished. And so they renovate these churches and they keep them
beautiful.
Like I just said, those shots that's just a normal everyday church. And so they keep them beautiful, and the doors are open like every day, and no one goes in. And so, it's just kind of sad that life, ideally, right, in a church, let's just say, let's give Church of Norway a break. Life is right there with its doors open, and everyone just like walks by it. So that's kind of depressing.
Yeah, well, I think that's a really astute point. I mean, that really is like a good metaphor for sort of what's for the spiritual condition of the place. Like there's life, and there's life everlasting to be offered to people. But like we talked about in the episode with Todd Moore, it's like people are just not going to cross the threshold of the building that contains it. And so I think that speaks to why our mission is different. That speaks to why our idea for community and evangelism is different. Is it can't be that life just lives inside of those doors, but that we are, where I'm really torturing a metaphor, but I think it's still it's a good point, is that we are the bearers of the treasure and the life that God has given us. And we can break down that expectation that it's in there if you want to find it, because people are not going in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that was fun.
I don't know how we pull this back to talking about
well, I'll say,
life events.
We also enjoyed the stay. Grace got to have a ton of housewives. Oh, she got hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
You can see it in
Such
the
a
last
jerk.
episode.
Oh, yeah, they are up in the corner.
Yes, they are.
There's a bookshelf full of hot Cheetos. So we got some. We got a care package with Mama Grace of all the snacks that we miss and everything.
That's good. So at least her trip was worth it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what it was all about.
Yeah.
But yeah, she got.
Well,
some
how
good,
much hot Cheetos are out here? That's basically it is worth it.
It's not fun.
No.
Yeah, but it was great. So we got to have the fun, here's Norway kind of stuff. Like, come see the beautiful Norway that we show you and make you jealous about on our phones. So she got to see it for herself. She got to experience the cold. And I think I'll say like that, Cam, your invitation, I'll second that. Good. Mama Grace slept on our couch. I I'm not sure that Grace will let you sleep on our couch, but I'm almost certain that Cam will let anyone sleep on his couch.
Yeah, thanks for inviting them all over.
You have Bailey's permission to book a hotel and come visit us.
We'll figure that part. I mean, the administrative stuff we'll figure out. But yeah, really do. Please.
Yeah.
All the people who are supporting the mission. If you can find it, you're blessing us abundantly. But I think you can really connect the urgency of the work. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. Like, it's obvious when missionaries are going to very poor parts of like tribal Africa, and you can invite people out and go look at what like these people. Here are all of their material needs. They're being
they
highly
built a well
deprived.
so they can have water for a decade,
and that does something to you when you go and you see and you go, oh my goodness, this is what digging a well, like this is how that drastically and dramatically changed this community. It's not so obvious when you say come to Oslo, but I hope it is.
They got a church on every corner. They're beautiful.
Well,
they renovate them.
I hope it's a similar experience. I hope you can see in the same way the way that communities can be changed by the gospel.
Yeah. And just like I think to experience the quality of life here is amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's awesome, and also like the temperament of or the like desire and craving for like kushli and that whole thing. I think was a big surprise to her.
Kushli.
Oh yeah.
You've seen it. We'll talk later.
Is that Norwegian?
Yeah. Jacob is the resident Norwegian expert, so he hasn't heard of it.
If I've never heard of it, it doesn't exist. But okay.
So just the value that they place on, because we stayed at an Airbnb in Bergen, and the place that we stayed at was like the perfect example of kushli being like just. It was done.
Yeah.
So we had, coffee every day, and they had a beautiful TV that was set on a picture frame or like an art easel.
Yeah.
And it was just the most comfy, cozy environment ever. And just so like seeing how that is a big part of the culture here, like staying in your home, being comfy in your home, and just like how everyone's. Oh, you posted a picture a few days ago of people standing at a bus stop and said like Norway wins the personal space competition like or something.
Yeah. They do win at personal space. That was not unusual, by the way. That's exactly how people stand. Like that was just a normal morning of people standing at the Tariq stop.
But just it's like a totally different thing to come and see it because she, obviously has heard Grace and I talk about that a ton. She's heard us talk about that on the podcast. But then being here, she wouldn't stop talking, like tapping our shoulders and being like, "You guys just look out." Look, they enjoy their space. Like no one's talking.
Yeah.
And like the waiter doesn't want to come over here. Like we have to go. They don't want to kick me out of the restaurant. Like they want to give me as much space until I'm ready to go talk to them. And so just like those things stood out to her starkly.
Yeah.
So I think just it's super valuable. Come visit us.
Yeah.
Because we love you and we miss you. But also to see, like you're saying, the reality of this place.
Yeah,
and
get your feet dirty and see what the Spirit says, and then have a more tactile, a more...
And we're back.
Able to tact.
Able to
Tactable.
Tactable? No, you got it wrong. You did it wrong.
That works.
Anyways,
you said able to tange earlier.
Yeah, because you said tangible.
Okay, sorry.
But have a tactile. come and sense the texture of the place. Yeah, I've said enough. But come feel what it's like. Come feel what it's like. And we're getting used to it. We're settling in a little bit. I mean, I guess we're still really weird, and we're still surprised. Or at least I'll speak for myself. I'm still surprised every day by how different our cultures are. But come see it with fresh eyes. And be blessed. Like, be blessed to see what ministry looks like here. And be blessed to meet the Christians who are here, because they're amazing. Like that, over the last few months, that's more of what's happened too, is we've been welcomed into ministry here. Jacob and I have had the opportunity to lead worship a couple of times. Bailey has led worship. Jacob's led at his school. Jacob and I were in the band. We got to lead worship at home church. That's Benta's church. You guys remember Benta, who talked to us a few weeks ago? We got to lead worship as a whole team there. Jacob and I were part of a team led by Seamen, who it was a worship weekend for the young Baptists.
It was fun. It was like we were playing like 10 songs. It was So we are. I am. I don't know how much of this you've done. I was a gigging musician back in the States.
No, we were never. Never heard of her.
Even in bands.
Yeah.
And that was I've kind of, since my guitars and stuff have been on like the shipping container, I haven't written really anything. I haven't recorded anything, and I haven't really like advertised myself to play anything anywhere. And so I've just kind of like really been itching to like, do a gig or play on stage somewhere. So that was really fun. I got to play bass. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But I really am excited for my guitars to get here.
Yeah, they should be here soon. That's good news, is that our stuff should be here soon. So we'll let you know. We will let I promise you'll know when our things get here. But it's been like 6 months. Like 6 months to get our stuff. You guys have heard that there's a global, worldwide shipping congestion. There's a thing where it's really hard to send stuff places. And that all starts right where our things were leaving California. That's like ground zero of, we can't ship stuff across the world. So our stuff's been sitting there waiting to go for 6 months.
Yeah. Why didn't you talk to the experts who've been doing it for 30 years?
That's a whole other story. But even they're just like, so I talked to several different shipping companies and just said, look, what's actually happening? And they went, nope, we have no idea. We can't predict it. We've never seen anything like this. You'll get it when you get it. So we've been tracking it across the ocean, and then it made it to Germany, and then it should be sort of ready for customs clearance any day now.
Yeah.
They'll have our things. That'll be nice.
It will be very nice. Yeah. So let's talk about another one of those life events. We got a lot of content out of Mama Grace visiting.
Thanks, Mama Grace.
Thanks, Mama Grace.
Mama G.
We had the chance to bless a member of our team who's not on this podcast, but Alan had a birthday.
Yeah, he did. That was good. That was fun.
Yeah, and someone having a birthday in and of itself is rather unremarkable. But what did we do for Alan on his birthday?
We sang happy birthday to him.
Yes, we did.
We gave him a present. Actually, I'm going to share just like the sweetest moment of all time from Alan's birthday. So we were giving Alan all kinds of grief because he rides these scooters all over town and he's constantly falling off of them. And so we were just really giving him the business about falling off these scooters, and he was telling a story about he'd fallen off one again. And it was on his birthday. So on his birthday, we had him and the whole team over to our house.
Say what we did.
And we had it wasn't really a surprise party, but it was just a party. We had a sushi night where it was delicious. I mean, calling it sushi is maybe that's a little generous. But
we had rice and fish.
Rice and fish was delicious. It was wonderful. It was a ton of fun. And so we had the whole team over to do that. So in the midst of that, we gave Alan a gift. And Celia, my 5-year-old, had heard about how we're clowning on him for falling down off of these scooters the whole time. And Alan, why didn't you get a helmet? I'm not going to get a helmet. Right? And she heard that conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
So she walks out of her bedroom with a helmet that she had received for Christmas. She got a bike and a helmet from her grandparents for Christmas and gave that to Alan for his birthday because she heard he was falling over and she didn't want him to hurt his head. Oh, I about melted. Is that the sweetest thing you've ever heard? And then we all laughed hysterically, and it made her embarrassed because she didn't understand why. And then she was embarrassed that the helmet was too small. It was a little 5-year-old girl's helmet for Alan's adult man head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can make it work.
We can make it work. Just tape it.
Well, I love Celia. I mean, she's just like that little moment, obviously, just like shows her heart.
Yeah.
In like every single.
It was just so pure.
Well, on every single side of the spectrum. So it shows her generosity, but also when we laughed because it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Marissa does this thing where when she laughs like hysterically, she just busts out like, "Ah!" It was hilarious to her.
Yeah.
She did that because it was just caught her off guard. And Celia, this has happened a few times, so I feel confident saying this, cannot yet tell the difference between people laughing at her or laughing with her.
No,
especially
really
when we laugh that
embarrassed.
hard.
Yeah.
And so she obviously can laugh at jokes, and we obviously laugh with her sometimes. But if she does something and everyone starts laughing and she's not, she can't tell if we're laughing with her or at her. So she gets embarrassed.
Yeah.
But what's great is that she comes back like immediately. That's just like our moments to like, we've had those moments. I've had several of those moments where she's like mad at somebody for laughing at her, or she's embarrassed, and I like pick her up and I'm like, okay, are we really gonna sit here and be upset and be mad?
Yeah.
And then I make her laugh or whatever, and then I bring her over to Bailey and it was like, Bailey, can you tell Celia you love her and that you weren't laughing at her? And like we, make it up, and it's just awesome because that kind of goes back to our point earlier about becoming uncles to the girls. We've had. It's funny that you talk about that you were a little unsure of like, well, like, okay, I want to be an uncle to them, but how authoritative can I be and stuff like that. I also was thinking about that like all the time, and so I'm constantly trying to make sure that I'm not be bossy or like
the
be
first thing
like
Jacob did when we got here was sent my girls to their room and told them they were grounded. I was like, that's the line.
No, what? No, I didn't.
Too much. You need to back that up just a little bit.
Yeah, I took away their toys.
That's right.
Instead. No. Gosh, no, I didn't
Started
do
throwing
that.
their toys in the trash. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, they leave them all over the place.
Yeah, she wasn't sharing, so
Yeah, she
now
wasn't-
she can't have it at all.
That's right.
So no, I don't torment Cam's children. But that's been an interesting experience because I don't have nieces or nephews.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest of my father's children, so I have to say it that way.
Yeah.
So I don't have like nieces or nephews, and so it's really interesting stepping into that role, learning kind of how to do it,
Yeah.
and it makes me it fills up Marissa's baby like cup, so she doesn't want to have kids yet. So
Oh gosh. Well, that's good. So her being around your kids makes her not want to have any anymore. So thank you.
That's not exactly what I said.
No, I think, man, I'm worried that strategy definitely could backfire. So my kids are awesome. They have their moments, and Taya is the most difficult of the children we've had. She really tough. But by and large, my girls are really wonderful, and they're fun to be around, and they're funny, and they're bright, and they're charming, and they're sweet, and they bring you their helmet, right?
Yeah.
That Celia got for Christmas. She bring you her Christmas gift to give to you because she doesn't want you to hurt yourself. They're wonderful, and so being around kids like that, I don't know, man. It might tend to push that I want to be a mama button.
Yeah.
We'll ask Motown. That's one of the things I've been thinking of was wouldn't it be cool if the ladies did an episode of the podcast?
Yeah, I'm glad we're speaking that into existence.
Yeah, that's what I thought is make it real online. Maybe we can take a vote or something. If you guys want that, let us know, and then maybe it'll be enough that the ladies will be like, we have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been thinking about that. I think that's good.
Just to bring it back to Alan, because
Yeah.
we were talking about Alan's birthday.
Yeah.
I think, so we all know Alan is the best gift giver in the world.
Yeah, he's really good.
And it's just not fair. It takes him like 2 seconds which is why he's always shopped with me for Grace's gifts, because I get all the credit, but I do like none of the work, and it barely takes him work. Like it takes 2 seconds and he knows exactly what the best thing in the world is for someone. So we have like no hope in ever matching that.
Yeah.
So if our strategy was like, for Alan's birthday, let's find him the best gift.
Yeah, there's not a chance.
Yeah, we're going to fail anyways. But it was really, I think it was really special. Because have we had a birthday?
No, that was the
we
first
haven't
birthday we
Yeah, that was
celebrated
the first.
here,
Yeah.
I mean, it was my birthday in October, but
So that was the first birthday we celebrated here. Yeah.
On to important things.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I love you. I don't care.
Yeah.
We stopped caring about birthdays after 49, Cam.
all right. It's okay. I'm used to it.
So it was really cool. We got to actually surprise Alan, which I guess he wrote in a note that we all shared with each other that he doesn't like surprise birthdays. But we effectively surprised him.
Yeah.
I took him out to the mall for the day, and he just wasn't expecting anything. Like, I was making us sound like awful people. I was like, hey, maybe for your birthday tonight we can go to my house and play some board games. I don't know.
We can't have any of Grace's hot Cheetos. That's not happening.
We'll grab some pizzas. Of course, we wouldn't touch the stash of hot Cheetos. But and then he just was totally not expecting to come to your place and for us to be doing sushi. And it's not like the again, it's not the perfect gift or whatever, because we're always going to not be as good at Alan at that.
No way.
But I think it was just so cool having the chance to as a whole group focus on one person, because it's easy to focus on the girls. Girls, obviously, cutest things in the world. So to focus on them for Christmas or whatever,
it's easy.
is an easy thing to do. But for everyone to get together and have a night. Just a night of fun.
Yeah, and it's like a picture of heaven. I mean, it's it's that simple community stuff that I don't know. We just get to see why it's so good, and we miss out. I mean, in our I mean, we still live pretty hectically, but it's easy to miss out on the simple community stuff and sort of the quickness of the pace of our lives. And so just being able to be together, share a moment, get to dedicate the time to the celebration and honoring of our friend and brother Alan, and him being generous with his time and receiving the gift and being blessed by it. Like, there's something there about blessing somebody and them receiving the gift and the thing that happens in the group when that happens. It's magic.
And I think just like, especially since we just talked with Todd Moore about missional community and what that looks like, a big emphasis that we've had looking at missional community and that he definitely had in our conversation with him was the like true relationship and like living life with each other.
Yeah.
And for him, like Christians together it was a huge emphasis that he had for missional community. So I think just like these events, for me, like that's, I don't know, like a change in perspective, because we make a big deal out of birthdays typically, but like this was like, everything's on hold. This day is Alan's day.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like, we don't have much money, but we're going to pool our money and have awesome food and treat ourselves and him for a night. And I think just like it's an emphasis on us being together and taking a moment and really like seeing the importance of celebrating each other.
Yeah.
'Cause like, I don't care about birthdays. Like, I really don't get why they're a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't get why we even
I have one of
the day
those.
we were born.
Some of my best friends have birthdays.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I can really appreciate in the model of missional community, like how valuable it is to just take a moment to pause and like bless one person intentionally in the group. And it's not like the spotlight is on them and we all go around and tell them encouraging things. Like, we didn't do any of that. It's just like
We just got to be together and bless
time
each
together
other. Yeah.
for him, for his day. Like, we pause our schedule, pause our routines, so that we can set apart today for Alan. And so I just love that. And especially now I'm thinking about Todd Moore in our conversation with him, and I have 1,000 things going through my brain.
Hold it in. We'll
get there.
We'll get there eventually. So thank you guys for tuning in. This was fun.
Yeah.
Kind of catching up a little bit, a little laid back. That was kind of the goal, was not to write this episode, but just kind of see what words we say. So thank you for
See what words we say. Ready, go.
So thank you for helping us achieve that
We
goal.
did say new words.
Yeah.
We said tang.
Yeah. Tact.
Tact is an old word.
Kushli.
Kushli.
I'm going to look that one up. I
Okay.
don't think that's Norwegian.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so embarrassed. This is going up.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I actually like it. So let me go ahead and just end this here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate all the support that we get from our friends back home. And this is what our life is like here. And these are the kind of the moments that mean the most to us when we're away from the people we love the most. I have to learn to love these people.
Yeah, we get to be with the people
more.
we love the second most.
That's right. So thank you for watching us talk about that. We hope to see you guys next week, and God bless. Thank you for watching this episode of Word First Radio. If you like the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to learn more about Word First and how you can support the ministry spiritually and financially, check out the links in the description below. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Word First Radio, and we'll see you again next week. God bless.